When you're watching Free Guy, this is the Ryan Reynolds video game movie, and I have to say, it was a lot. I think the first time I watched it, I don't know, I was kind of like, what's the right word to use? I mean, it felt like a Ryan Reynolds movie, you know what I mean, where he just like plays himself. Kind of like, but the situation or the concept was a lot better. You know what I mean? Like, I like the concept. I like the idea of what they were doing. I just kind of feel like as a movie, it's fun. I feel like it was more of like a TV series. You know what I mean? It feels more like that. Like if they made this like a 8-part Netflix original movie where it's just like I feel like they could have gone a lot they could have done a lot more with it. And because it was just a small movie, it kind of felt like they had to speed through a lot of the movie. You know what I mean? Because there's a part in the movie where, spoilers for Free Guy if you haven't seen it, but in the middle of the movie, there's a part where they do like this time skip or whatnot, or like kind of like this upgrade part of things where you see like Ryan Reynolds' character Free Guy or just Guy. He starts like fighting and trying to be the good guy of the video game and like stopping crime and like all of this stuff. It's like if an NPC character woke up and realized he was in a video game and then realized like I can actually save people. You know what I mean? Like you wake up in GTA 5 and you're like I can stop all the crime happening with like all the online players and stuff. And it's really interesting. It's a great concept. I actually really like the concept of this is like the NPC character wakes up and it's a it's a new day and you have to live in this world of like chaos. You know what I mean? In this world of like violence and video game violence and like guns and explosions and crime and bank robberies and uh you know car chases and it's like all of this crazy stuff and he has to basically save the day or fight people off or whatnot so he can help the girl that he likes or that he's in love with. And I liked it because on the one hand, it made Ryan Reynolds like he doesn't have to be like this young guy. You know what I mean? Like you know how like in an action adventure they usually have like a young guy that's like at the front of everything. Well, he's an NPC in this one and he could just be like a regular everyday worker. So it's actually really brilliant how they make it so it's like yeah, he's a video game character and he's kind of like, you know, a little older on the older side, but it kind of makes sense because he's an NPC. He's just a regular bank teller or whatever. He works at the bank. He's not supposed to be like this the young hero that comes in and saves the day kind of a vibe. And that's what makes it so fun and entertaining. And I like the way that they transition between the video game and then real life. How it's like the character in the game is like one of the characters is Channing Tatum, and then you see the actual guy who's playing him, like the actual like guy who's playing with him online, and it's just like this regular guy is like the classic cliche like video game like loser guy who lives in his mom's basement is just like mom like I'm doing my video game like that kind of a guy, you know what I'm saying? And it was just really funny the kind of tropes that they hit. And obviously Ryan Reynolds is very funny. So I just thought that this movie was like upon second viewing, like the first time I watched it, I was kind of like this should have been longer. Or like there were certain things that they did in the movie. Well, there are some jokes in there that are like of pretty bad taste. Not because they're not I understand what they're trying to do with the joke. It's just that it's like it doesn't really do anything other than to bring up the topic and like it just feels a bit weird. But anyways, essentially the plot of the story goes is that one day guy Ryan Reynolds he realizes that he's in a video game or he tries to like do something different with his life. You know, he's an NPC in the game that was created, but then he changes. He's like, what if I want to be something more than a bank teller? What if I want to be somebody different? And then he wakes up and he's just kind of like, you know what? I am going to do something different. Usually, like, if the bank is being robbed, he just kind of like ducks down and like lets them rob the bank and stuff, and then, run away, and everything's kind of okay. And then, you know, this time around, he's like, what if I stop the bank robber? He stops the bank robber, he kills the player who's like robbing the bank or whatever, doing the bank heist or whatever, and he steals their glasses, and then his world awakens to this new world of like, whoa, I never noticed all of these missions that you can do and the money you can get and the this kind of thing was going on, or the explosions, or all of these different little things that were unnoticeable to his eye, to his naked eye, because he's just an NPC in the game. It's just a regular world to him. But to everybody else with the glasses or whatnot, they can kind of see, all of the extra digital stuff. So, anyways, he realizes he's in like this new world, this new game or whatever. And he comes across this girl. I forget her name in the movie, and I forget her real life name. I should probably look that up. But she basically awakens in him like this love. He falls in love with her, and he's like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to like be with her. And so she's trying to get something, some sort of a, I forget what it is, some sort of a code, or she's trying to get some sort of a password or something, and it's like protected by whatever. So she needs to get over there, and then Guy is just kind of like Ryan Reynolds. He's kind of like, I'll help you. I'll do whatever you want me to do. You know what I mean? She's just like, instead of trying to be whatever, why don't you try being a good guy? And he was just like, okay. So every single day, like, he can't die in the game, which is awesome because it's an NPC. When you're an NPC, you have like do-over after do-over. I'm sure it's the same for like other characters, but it's more so like, if he loses or if he dies, or like, let's say he gets shot in the face or whatever, he gets to wake up and he's fresh and new. Whereas I guess the video game characters, it's like, I don't know, it's just different, whatever. Anyways, he has infinite lives, he can't die. So there's no real danger. So he can just keep on trying as many times as he wants. And he gets to save the day, and he gets to learn the routine. And that's the part where I'm talking about where they kind of skip over it. And I feel like that would have been a really fun part to do, as like, just like another hour of Ryan Reynolds doing combat or learning new things about the game, like bank heists, like stopping a bank heist he does in the movie. He stops like other like bad people or whatnot. So it just would have been cool to see him try to like just to try to like fight off all of the bad guys or do all of the side missions and stuff like that. It just would have been really fun to see that happen. And that's what I mean, where it's like they skip past it. Well, not skip past it, they do a montage, but it's kind of like, I don't know. I just think it would have been a lot more fun if they kept it doing like an extended scene, like just another hour of that. You know what I mean? So that's why I kind of feel like it could have been a TV series or a TV show. But I guess you could say that with anything. But so, anyways, moving forward, it's more so like he starts leveling up and he gets up to like level whatever, 99, 100 or whatever he needs to be. And then he meets the girl he likes, or whatever her name is. I forget. I gotta look it up right now. I forget her name. What is it? Jodie Comer, who plays Millie in the movie. And yeah, it was just really cool to see that, like, now that he's leveled up and now that he's super strong and that he knows what he's doing, like, he's gained all the battle skills and the mechanics, and he understands how to play the game, or like how to fight and everything. And like he can ride a motorcycle and do all of these different things in the game. It's like, it's really cool to see. And then you see like the other person playing on like their game controller or whatever. And then after like he helps her save he saves her. Essentially, she goes to get the code or whatever, but she's like, "Oh snap, like I'm in the wrong place." And so she starts getting attacked, and then Guy comes and saves her. He becomes the good guy, and then they escape, and then there's kind of like this cute moment where it's like, a romance. So anyways, Um, it becomes like that, and then they start like really developing a romance where it's like guy likes all the same things that Millie likes, or whatever Jodie Comer she likes, and you just kind of see how what's it called? You see how much they have in common. You know what I mean? In the game, obviously. And then guy is just kind of like he's eating bubblegum ice cream, and she's just like, I love bubblegum ice cream, and he's singing like Fantasy by Mariah Carey, which is her favorite. And then they just start talking about how much they love swings, and it feels like this full blown romance. And then Ryan Reynolds' character Guy actually falls in love with her, and he's like, "I really want to kiss you," and she's just like, okay." And then he kisses her in the game, and then it cuts over to her like watching on the screen on the monitor, like like if you're playing a video game or whatever, like regular streamers or whatever, and you look at her and she's kind of like awkward moment, like, how did he kiss me in the game? And then obviously one of the developers for the game, Keys, played by Joe Keery, which I thought was it was cool to see him in the movie. He was one of the video game developers who actually like made the game with Millie, and I guess him and her broke up after they sold the game or whatever, because I don't know, it felt like they gave up something that they really worked hard on, or the game wasn't as good as it should have been, or it wasn't what it should have been. So then, anyways, they broke up, and then finally Keys realized that guy, blue shirt guy or whatever in the game, in the movie, he is the AI that they created in the game to like be a full fledged like identity. Like it's AI, you know? So Guy in the movie isn't just an NPC that's like awakened. He's the first living AI with his own personality and whatnot. And he's kind of like, well, dang it, like he's the first NPC character he's the first living AI that we have that's like actually working and creating and like changing this world, this video game. But the problem is that like we don't own the game, and when they reboot like the second they're coming out with like a sequel, all data from our previous work or from our data will be deleted once they destroy this game and go on to Free City 2. And it's like if when GTA 6 comes out and they delete GTA 5 completely. You know what I'm saying? It's like they just get rid of that whole game entirely, and it's like, well, now there's nothing I can do. You know what I mean? It's hard for them to like sue or to get any kind of copyright claim on their product or to get their video game. And so they basically come up with the idea that they have to tell Guy that in order to save the game, they have to find the code or whatever's inside of the game to realize that it's actually their video game. And if not, he's going to get destroyed. The whole world is going to be deleted. And so Millie tells Guy in the game, and she's just like, listen, you're an AI, you're an NPC. This is a video game, and if you don't do something right now to help us save this game, you're going to be deleted with everybody else here. And so basically we just watch them as they try to save the game and whatnot. And we see, well, long story short, they succeed, they save the game. Guy lives on, but he doesn't get the girl because she's like actually realizes that she's in love with Joe Keery's character Keys, because he based Guy off of her. So that's why they have all the same things in common. So the reason why Guy loves bubblegum ice cream is because Millie likes bubblegum ice cream. And the reason why Guy likes swings is because Millie likes swings. And the reason why he sings Mariah Carey is because, you know, Millie sings Mariah Carey and stuff like that. So it just feels like he created this character based off of this woman that he loves, and then she realizes that like, oh, you're the one I love, Keys, and then they kiss, and then it's all happy dandy. And then Guy just lives in the video game, and now he's like, the whole world has changed and it's different now, and everybody's back to normal. And I thought it was really cool. I thought it was fun how they were able to get so many different things inside of the movie. Like Ryan Reynolds isn't gonna be like a quote unquote a Jedi in a Star Wars movie. So what does he do? He gets a lightsaber to fight in this movie. You know what I mean? And then he's never gonna be a superhero or like a comic book like regular Marvel super. Well, I mean he's Deadpool and that's fun itself, but it's like he isn't going to be Captain America. So what does he do? He gets Captain America's shield, and then he has Chris Evans do a cameo, which was fun. And then you get to Hulk arm, and he punches him in the face, and he just does all kinds of stuff. And I thought that was so cool how he was able to like pull all of that off. It was really funny, and like, oh snap, like he's well connected, and I thought that was really cool how you could like tell or like how you could see, you know, that stuff like that gets made because it's like of where your connections are, you know what I'm saying? And I thought that was really fun. And how passionate he is about like just making it fun, you know what I mean? And it would be cool if that was available for like, you know, all types of media, you know what I mean? If other movies were allowed to use lightsabers or to do a gimmick like that or a fight scene with it or you know whatever, you know what I mean, like stuff like that, but it's not. And so you kind of see like where some of the budget went or what sort of things had to happen or whatever. And that kind of a concept or that kind of like with the Captain America shield and the Hulk punch and the lightsaber, that kind of stuff can only happen with this kind of a story inside the video game where it's like they always do that, you know, those character skins or those weapons where they give you like, oh, we have this lightsaber option that's really cool, you know what I mean? So I don't know, I don't know how else to put it, but I just think that like the concept was really fun. I feel like the story itself wasn't all that. I mean, it was just one of those popcorn movies, you know? It wasn't to be taken too seriously. It wasn't like a crazy story, but at the same time, you're not there for that. You're just having a fun time. And the joke that didn't land for me, or like that didn't really work in this movie was, so Guy is like giving a speech, like a final like, why the real world isn't like this, you know what I mean? Why do we have to live like maniacs, you know, shooting at each other and throwing bombs and, you know, beating each other up? It's like, do they do that in the real world? Do they beat each other up every single day? Do they bomb each other every single day? Do people shoot each other every single day? And then like somebody has to tell them is like, yeah, you know, the gun control problem is a real issue, and they're like, ooh yeah, ooh. And then that just, I get it was a joke, but it's a serious issue that was just like there was no comedy in it, and it just fell flat, and it was just kind of like, okay, you know. So I just kind of felt like it just didn't really work. It just felt like kind of like, ooh yeah, that's that is what happens in the real world, and it just kind of feels like, what, why was that a joke in the first place, you know? So anyways, the movie, I mean the movie's just fun, you know. It's fun. I like the concept. It knows what it's doing. It has like a little bit of everything. It has action, has comedy, it has romance in there. It has you know, it's a video game. They have like fun cameos like Channing Tatum's in the movie. They have Taika Waititi, which I think was also really fun. A small role. They had like streamers in the movie, which I thought was really fun. Um, you know, and they had like, oh, they had Alex Trebek in the movie. They did like a Jeopardy scene. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, they did all kinds of stuff, but it was just kind of fun to see like all of that coming together and whatnot. So I don't know. Yeah, it was just a popcorn movie, and I thought it was fun. You know, I didn't really like take it too seriously or whatever. It's just a cool movie, a little family adventure for the whole family, and it's one of those things where you could kind of see them like you could see them doing more, but I feel like the way this movie ended, it was just kind of like a clean stop, if that makes sense. It just felt like a new stopping point. I don't know. I feel like that often with Ryan Reynolds movies is that like they're just clean cut finished. You know what I mean? And then there's the rare few that like do get sequels like the I did that I talked about the R.I.P.D. movie with Ryan Reynolds, and like he dies in the movie, and then after the first one, like it was clean, it was cut. But then they came out with an R.I.P.D. 2 without Ryan Reynolds, and it just fell flat. It just didn't really work all that much. So I don't know. If they did a sequel of this movie, I wouldn't be mad at it, but it'd just be interesting to see what they do different with it moving forward. Maybe a character of some kind, or I don't know. It feels a little complete, like they did what they needed to do with the movie. So, anyways, um, what else can I say about this movie? Um, what about um? I think one of the coolest parts about this movie, or the reason why the concept works, is because you're not really like there's really no danger in this movie. You know what I mean? Like that's what makes it a fun movie is that like yes, there are stakes, but they're fake stakes. You know what I'm saying? Like if guy dies, the real world isn't technically ending. It's not the end of that world, but it is the end of his world, which isn't the end of the real world, but it does mean like something does go to waste. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's like it's like if Truman Show was like plagued with like an atomic bomb, or like the world was going to be like an apocalypse. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I guess I don't know if that makes sense. But my point being is that like this movie is kind of like a no stakes kind of a movie. It's like if they lose the game, then they lose the game. If they save the game, they save the game. So it's kind of like you could go either way with it. You know what I mean? And I actually think that if they went in the direction of, like, let's say the game died and Guy died, you know what I mean? And his legacy was just Blue Shirt Guy, and now Millie and Keys try to make a new game or whatever, you know what I'm saying? A new kind of game or whatnot. And they they try to revive Blue Shirt Guy, but he just can't be revived. And then they bring in a new character that's like the AI, you know what I'm saying? And they were able to do that game different. I don't know. And that's how they get like the second Free Guy movie, is that like they just bring in a new actor or a new character or whatever instead of Ryan Reynolds. But in his sacrifice or whatever. Something like that. I don't know. But overall, Free Guy is just a fun popcorn movie. I think it's one of those movies where you just kind of like I don't really know what to watch. You know what I'm saying? It's not like oh, I have to watch this movie. You know what I mean? Like there's some movies where you're just in the mood for, and then there's the movies where it's kind of like I don't really know what to watch. Let's put on this. You know what I mean? Like you watch The Dark Knight, right? You watch The Dark Knight because you're in the mood for it. You want to watch that movie. You're like, "You know what? I'm actually feeling like in a Dark Knight mood, you know?" And then there's some days where you're like, I feel like I've watched everything. I don't really know what to watch. There's nothing good on TV or on the streaming services. I don't really know what to watch. Oh, well, let me watch this movie that I already know about, and it's like pretty good. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm not making any sense, but anyways, that's Free Guy. And when you're watching Free Guy, well, be on the lookout for the Channing Tatum cameo. I thought that was funny. It was just funny to see him in the movie at all. You know what I mean? it's just kind of crazy that he's like there. You know, it was like when I was watching Bullet Train and he appeared. I was like, whoa, what is you like? How did you just appear? How are you just here? You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was kind of funny, and it was funny to see him in this movie as well, because it's Channing Tatum, but it's not Channing Tatum. You know what I mean? But anyways, thank you guys so much for listening. I'll talk to you guys all next time. Go watch Free Guy. I thought it was a pretty, I mean, you know, fun for the whole family. Yeah, kind of a fun movie all the way around. So if you're looking for something like that, definitely go watch it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for listening. Yeah.